One of the best ways to get the best out of your brush cutter, make it easier on your tractor to pull and to power, and also get the best cut on the grass that you're trying to cut, is to have it set up properly. That's what we're doing today. So just take some notes and set yours up properly before you cut. So what we're trying to accomplish here is to have the front of the mower, this part of the mower, a little lower than the back part of the mower, 1.5 to 2 inches, because we want to get rid of the material that it's cutting. We don't want to stay in there and get mulched up necessarily. You want to cut it and get rid of it, especially if you're in some real high stuff. And unfortunately, most of us wait till it gets real high before we do brush cutting in certain areas of our place. So let me show you how we're going to set it up today. I've gotten some 2x6s. That's what that is. That's what that is. And I've got some 2x4s. Actually, those are 4x4s, but it's basically the same thing. There's a 2-inch difference between a 2x6 and a 2x4. It's 5.5 inches vertical here, 5.5 inches versus 3.5 inches there. We want to get this back in just raised up just a little bit, but we also want the wheel touching the ground. Something I've failed to do in years past is having that wheel that's where when you're actually working it, when it's riding along, the wheel is touching the ground. A lot of times the wheel will be up in the air, especially if you hit a high place, low place, and we'll get a lot of banging around, which is hard on the wheel. You need to have the some of the weight, if not the majority of the weight, resting on that wheel. Just helps it to ride smoother, to float better over obstacles. Again, like mounds. I've got a lot of fire ant mounds, and my land is not level, so just helps in that respect. So let's set up the tripod, and we'll start setting this up. So first of all, you want to have it level this way, and to do that, you'll just come over here with a tape measure, raise it up off the ground, come up here with a tape measure and measure the front of it, and just make sure that both sides are the same distance off the ground. But if they're not the same distance, if you find a discrepancy between left and right, then you need to work that out right here. This is, most tractors are going to have some type of adjustment. Mine has got a little turn crank. I can turn it up or down. Some tractors have hydraulic. Some tractors are going to have a turnbuckle type situation that you turn, but you want it left to right. You want it to be level left and right. Now we're going to work on front to back. So we've got it set up here with the boards under it. I'm going to lower it down real slowly so it can rest on the boards, or just barely start to touch the boards. Okay, I'm already touching the back boards, the 2x6s. I need this front end to come down. But as you can see, my wheel is way up in the air. So I'm gonna drop that wheel down. Looks like about 5 inches. Mine has 2 bolts here, kind of a tension bolt. We'll keep it within a 1/2 inch. It can bounce about a 1/2 inch. We want to take it down quite a bit, so I've got to get those undone. This is where an impact wrench comes in handy. If you don't have an impact wrench, a cordless impact wrench, unless everything you do is around your shop where you got air, cordless impact wrenches are just the bomb. I'm telling you, I use this all the time. So we're going to back it up with a wrench. I sprayed the PB on it, but it has been a long time since these have been adjusted, so we'll see how long it takes to get them off. Well, not long at all. Not long at all. Love an impact wrench, especially the cordless, because I use the heck out of it. All right, gonna raise this up. Get that bolt out. Let her drop down. Now mine is gonna need a little persuasion because these 2 pieces of angle iron have collapsed, have bent. I I'm pretty rough on a mower. And this one's about 20 years old. I've been using it for almost 20 years. I mean, it's seen its share of roughness. So I'm gonna come in here, try to beat that out just a little bit. If not, I'll just beat it down. Not persuasive enough. All right, now it's on the ground. Not only on the ground, but I want it to be up like that. I want this to be sitting on the ground and in the up position in this this tube here. I always want to keep that greased. I want it down a little further, right there, where that is resting on the ground. Not hard and heavy, but it's on the ground. All right, we'll put these bolts back in their proper place. All right, so I'll raise it up now and then lower it down and show what it looks without the blocks underneath it. Okay, so that's the way it looks when it's set up right. The back is about 2 inches off the ground and the front is on the ground. Now, I'm not going to mow with it on the ground. I will set my little lift knob or lever to, where it's just barely skimming the top of the ground. That gives me about a maybe 3 or 4 inch cut, maybe 5, which is fine for pastures and stuff. That's what I mow with it. And plenty of weight on that rear wheel. But anyway, that's to do it. The way it's going to discharge now, the leading edge of those blades are going to cut the grass. It's going to kick it out the back, almost in kind of a windrow. And just going to make it pretty, make it cut easier on the tractor, especially if you're in big stuff. And if you need to raise the tractor up, raise the mower up to back into some big stuff, some big brush, which I have done many a time, little saplings and big brush and stuff, then it's easier to do now because you've already got the rear of it up in the air a little bit, 2 inches or so. So that's how to get it done. Go out there and check your mower and see if you've got it set up correctly. I think you'll be surprised at the job it does once it's set up correctly. It's going to cut better, it's going to act better, it's going to float better over uneven terrain, which I am filled with uneven terrain, and just going to be a better experience for the mower. It's going to be a better experience for you too, and for me, now that I got it done. All right, appreciate you folks. If you're thinking about buying a grapple, and you should be, then you need to look at that video up here about right now, and it will tell you kind of what you need to know about buying a good grapple, the right grapple for your tractor. All right, we're gone.